My graduate public history summer 2015 internship with the Virginia Tech Women's Center introduced me to a problem that exists in the current histories of Virginia Tech. My internship work on the Virginia Tech Women's History Project revealed a school which desires to be inclusive but doesn't extend that inclusion to its history of women. Virginia Tech women's history seems hard to find, perhaps faded like this picture. In fact, the main Virginia Tech website does not contain any links to the history of women at Virginia Tech, and until recently, no research had been done on the school's first female instructor. This lack of women's history at Virginia Tech needs to change. The multifaceted, rich history of women at the university needs sharpening. It needs to come into focus. It needs to come out of the shadows. And as it comes into view, women like Anna Campbell will finally have their story told, their significance realized. Anna Campbell, whose role in the school's history just recently came to light, worked as the first woman instructor. I was introduced to the problems surrounding Virginia Tech's women's history by Anna Lamascalo, co-director of the Virginia Tech Women's Center. Anna realized something needed to be done about the history of women when she put together a walking tour featuring aspects of Virginia Tech's women's history and immediately hit a roadblock. She explains in an interview.
I set about putting this project together, and I had the hardest time finding certain pieces of information that you would think would be so easy to access, like who was the first woman to serve as the director of women's and gender studies. I thought that would take me 5 minutes to figure out, check, move on. It took me 3 weeks to figure out, and I still don't think I actually chose the right person.
And this is where I came in. I was to lay a foundation to find out the history around the year women were first admitted, 1921, and that started in an archive with dusty letters and books, which proved to be very interesting, but which also produced sneezing and a trip to the doctor for allergy medicine. It ended up with letters and folders which revealed Anna Campbell as the first woman instructor. In January of 1921, VPI's Board of Visitors voted to admit women. In the fall, 5 full-time and 7 part-time women students enrolled, not in demonstration work, but as science majors. Lucy Lee Lancaster was one of the first 5 women at Virginia Tech, and this page is from the yearbook the women put together entitled The Tin Horn, as they were not allowed to be in the Bugle, the regular yearbook. 4 years after women were first admitted, 5 women graduated from VPI, beginning a long tradition of women graduates at Virginia Tech. And what about Anna Campbell? In 1920, Anna Campbell became the first female instructor at VPI, and when those first 5 women students arrived at the school, they weren't alone. Anna Campbell was there working steadily in her classroom. The documents detailing the history I found in the archives will one day find their way onto a public website, hopefully accessible from the main Virginia Tech website, and in this way, the history of women at Virginia Tech will come out from the shadows.